Yes, Satan understands the mystery of core. He works with cores. He looks at a nation and studies it. This nation for years has claimed that it is a nation under God. Not above, but under God. This nation recognizes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Then he says, I think I can destroy this with a core. How do I pass laws that are going to bring destruction and death or any otherwise? So let's study. Who can we use? He goes back to the Bible. He sees Ham and how Ham rebelled against his father. First rebellion after the floods is in a boy's spirit. Cursed be Canaan, which was the last born of Ham. And soon I promised Pastor Zach I'm going to teach about the last born syndrome. Why many last borns don't make it in life. Many last borns don't make it in life. They're usually the poorest, most disgruntled, dysfunctional, rebellious, craziest. Why do you think Noah cursed Canaan? The last born. Not the first or the third or the fourth of the children of Ham. Are you following? So he goes and then studies the lineage and the Hamites and then he gets into generations of generations and then finds a Luo. He's the descendant of Ham and says, if I can make this president, he can pass an abortion law. In the history of America, no white president could pass such a law. Because if the curse should come, it should return back to Ham's kids. Not Jephthah. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And we saw black people crying for the first time. A black man has become president. Satan is not looking at this black man. He's looking at the seed of Ham. This one can pass LGBT laws. It's in him. It's in him. Now you get it? Satan can go thousands of years looking for something to get you. That is why when we explain the mystery of salvation, we are saying that the old is past and now all things have become new and all things are of God. That if he wants to go back to your generations to bring back diabetes, he comes and meets you and he realizes that you are a new creature. Somebody shout hallelujah. The moment that the descendant of Ham passed it, they took him out. Now deal with it. Now the evangelicals have lost the voice in the very nation. It's going out of line and they have no control over. Now they're in recession, recording negative digits for 2 quarters. In Uganda, if you buy a car, it's yours. And if you look at the price of that car in the United States, it's half of your price, which you buy it in Africa. And then in Africa, when you buy it, it is yours. And then the other guy gets half of that price and he must get it on credit. Because the system cannot favor him to have enough. 70% of the Americans, if the record came through, own below $1,000. That is 3.8 million. 70% of the Americans in America don't own more than 3.7 million shillings on their account. which you call the richest nation. So who is richer, really? Maybe you're judging wealth by infrastructure. Look at the core and see what Africa has. If you look at the core, Africa has gold. Africa has diamonds. Africa has silver. Everything that has made Europe rich was in the core of Africa. The green elements, cobalt, coltan, lithium, lead, where are they? Here. How can you say you're poor? And then a son of that foundation and origin has to go to follow what was robbed from his core to build a destiny. How do I explain it to him? That cannot go into the second and third generation. It's not enough that your child is a US or UK citizen, but you can't understand it because you're not born again. Or you are, but probably you are still seeing things from the surface. Now America is in trillions of debt. If you divide how much debt it is against every American owes $92,000. But they're fighting for the passports every day. There's no Ugandan owed that much on their head. Core. Let's talk leadership. Some of you say, oh, we're tired, people are corrupt. In Uganda, people are thieves. Let me tell you. If you study the core, leadership is an African problem. And I'll tell you why it's a problem. But let me first make you understand this. Look at even the most influential, the Kwame Nkrumahs and all of those guys. Go study their story. At the end, they mess it up. So I used to say, God, what's wrong with African leaders? Because it's what CNN wants you to believe. That's why Al Jazeera wants you to believe. That's what all of these people want you to believe. And the Lord told me there's nothing wrong with African leaders. The only problem is that you are getting a system from Europe and America. From your core, you're building a system and trying to build it in a place where God has not designed it to function. This might be as hard as I can explain it, but it is the truth. Maybe, just maybe, Africa's problem is not leadership. Maybe our problem is they're trying to teach us what never worked or will never work for us because we don't function like they do. So we are killing each other. We are dividing each other. We are destroying each other. Boundaries between each other. Even a man of my blood, a Muntu, needs a visa to enter South Africa. Even the South Africans who are of our color hate us more. I've met them in airports. I've dealt with them. I've been in that nation. Not all, but many of them have a problem with us and the white color that enters that nation. Why? Because somebody designed a system that was not in our core. Maybe the next discussion is not to create conferences of teaching people leaderships that are after Roman systems, that are after Egyptian mythology, that are after Greek mythology, but you cannot tell because it looks modern and it is designed in a modern language. That does not mean that it carries no ancient core. All these systems you see, something school of leadership, something school of leadership, go into the core. You realize that many of them are myths from cores of peoples that carry no identity, even close in interpretation of life, like yours that they're trying to teach you. Before colonization, Africans knew how to lead themselves. There was union. There was oneness. There were intermarriages. Oh, Muganda. A bundle of different what? People coming together to intermarry and become one person. They had civilizations too. Do you understand what I'm saying? They had kings. They had